All right. Woo-wee! It's about that time. It is Sunday, December the 18th, 2022. Welcome to the final show of the year for the Zodiac Chatline. I'm your host, Tennah, and I am here, as always, with my lovely co-host, Cassie. Girl. Hey.
We made it, y'all.
Girl.
Made it all the way around to the end of another year. Congratulations to all of us.
We made it through another election cycle.
By the skin of our democracy, everybody.
It's like not even funny because we might as well laugh and not cry.
Right.
But it is funny. So we have reached the tail end of Sagittarius season. We have the sun in its last couple days in Sagittarius. The moon is in Libra. We have Mars retrograde in Gemini. Jupiter and Neptune are hanging out in Pisces where they love to be. Saturn is in Aquarius, modern day early ruler, but Saturn's in Aquarius. Pretty good placement for abruptness in some sort of structured way, maybe. And then Uranus is still retrograde in Taurus, and we have Mercury, Venus, and Pluto all in Capricorn. So we are living in this big Capricorn goat ass energy. We will continue to get more Capricorn energy by the end of this week. We will fully be absorbed in Capricorn season with the winter solstice and the sun moving into Capricorn on Wednesday, the 21st. And so it is a great time to reflect on the year and really plan for next year and take the careful, methodical goat energy forward.
Yeah, and nobody is doing anything quickly or with a lot of energy behind it for a while, because once the sun moves into Capricorn, we have 0 planets in fire signs. 0. So take your cues from Capricorns and, just lay low, do it bit by bit, do it slowly, and, plan, get those gears working. Like you said, just lay the groundwork for what you're going to do. That's what the winter season is about. Root work, going deep, what can we lay down now? What can we put under the surface so that it sprouts in the spring and grows and flourishes in the summer and fall?
And taking all of those inspiring, amazing ideas in Sagittarius season and really deciding which ones you can make good plans for and which ones were just like, the big dreams. And last week we had a pretty, everything was like, okay. But this week the energy shifts. On Tuesday, Jupiter does move into Aries. Wednesday, the sun is going to go into Capricorn, and the new moon comes in early Friday morning, right at the beginning of Capricorn. So this is really good for really taking your time to decide how you're going to use Capricorn energy, because it's such an early degree of the beginning of Capricorn that you can transform it into any way you want. And then it will also take your little time because Mercury will retrograde, and that's how Capricorn season will want to show us up at the end of the year. Mercury will retrograde on the 29th of this month, right before we hit the new year, and it will stay retrograde all the way through January 18th of next year. So as Cassie said, root work, slow your ass down. Since Mercury is retrograde and Mars is retrograde, which Gemini is in Mars right now, retrograde, like slow the F down, like just really take the time. And another thing I want to note is that we do kind of generally talk about like sun signs and moon signs and rising signs, But a lot of times, knowing your time of birth and knowing your rising sign is really good to know how your chart is laid out. Because when we talk about these transitions, they hit those certain points where they are and the houses that they are in your particular chart. So I'll give you an example. I have a 7th house Capricorn. And so a lot of my energy and all of this Capricorn energy is usually focused on relationships and how I can be better in them and take my time. But I encourage you to figure out your rising sign and look at where Capricorn is in your chart. And then kind of look at those houses themes and how that's kind of working in your life right now.
Love that. That's a great tip. I have 10th house Capricorn, so
get
pretty comfy there.
That's literally perfect. It's exactly where it's supposed to be, like the most comfortable. Okay, yep. Well, we know where Cassie gonna be. Cassie gonna be rich, y'all. It's cool.
Take you with me today. We're gonna be rich.
Oh yes, we gonna be rich. We gonna be all right. Hey, so did you want to say?
I don't know what.
Oh, okay. So I do want to talk about some events that really did occur this past week that I want to mention. The very first one I want to mention is congratulations to Sherelle Greiner and Brittany for coming home after being in Russia for 9 months. Whether or not you agree with how this happened, she's home and she deserved to happen. She is not some random Black lesbian. She's a 2-time Olympic medalist, as well as a professional WNBA player. So just know that, Brittany, we here at Zodiac Chatline have been saying your name and are so, so thankful that you are home with your family and your wife. And we cannot wait to see you on the court next year with the Phoenix Mercury. Second, President Biden signed officially into law last Thursday, the Respect for the Marriage Act, which gives protection and rights based on same-sex marriage, interracial civil marriages, and protects religious liberty. Again, I'm sure there was some conversations about how it is, but at least we're moving in the right direction. Again, the Capricorn energy, the Pluto being in Capricorn, a lot of massive changes behind structures and authority. And what we're seeing, again, as we talked about last week, all the protests all over the world, especially in Iran. And now I think was it Colombia or Peru? I think it's Peru. There's protests. Like, everybody is challenging that authority with Capricorn.
China.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. So, Capricorn season is lit.
A sentence that normally doesn't get uttered, but you guys, I mean, some intense stuff
the other amazing thing was also last Thursday, Miss Claudine Gay was named Harvard University's president as the first Black leader, and she's a daughter of Haitian immigrants, and she's a social scientist with expertise in political behavior. And so prior to this appointment, she was a professor, but now she is the president of Harvard. We love to see Black women succeed. That's all I'm going to say. Issa Rae said it, and I continue to say it. I'm rooting for everybody Black. And finally, for me, this is all I'm going to say on this because I don't want to elaborate anymore. We here at the Zodiac Chatline stand with Megan Pete, aka Megan Thee Stallion, and that is it.
Yep. That's that. That's on that.
So do you have anything else we need to chat about? I feel like
I not really. Yeah, as you said, we're moving deep into Capricorn territory here this week, and everybody expects some slowdowns. Mercury retrograde is going to continue that trend. That is why we took part of why we planned our break for when we did, because we're like, okay, let us come back after Mercury's ass is already out of retrograde. And there is some interesting change happening between now and when we will see you again at the beginning of Aquarius season. So I think it's worth kind of going through. So Venus will move into Aquarius right after the new year on January 2nd. The full moon in Cancer will happen on January 6th. That's a pretty powerful full moon every year. The moon rules Cancer. Given that, again, we're in this slowdown.
It's on January 6th, girl.
Oh shit, like the Capitol riots.
Oh, this is gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
Mercury will still be in retrograde then.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be
stay home for that one.
Good. Girl, that's right. Use that Cancer full moon energy to be a Cancer and cry, sit
your
in a
ass
bath.
at home. Yeah.
It's gonna be the middle of winter.
Yeah, right. For real. Fuck it. And then, we have, and Mars goes direct in the midst of all of this on January 12th. So, we've got some moves happening, but in general, ride the slow, chill vibe. It's, wintertime. What you gonna do? You gonna be outside all the time? No, you're not.
It is Capricorn season. Put your head down, focus on that bag, and keep it moving. And then in Aquarius season, you can kind of let your humanitarian and friendliness fly and really get out there and look at and focus on other groups. But during Capricorn season and by that time, everything will be direct. So right before the new moon in Aquarius, all of the planets will be direct. I believe Uranus, or maybe Uranus might still be the only one. But other than that, a lot of the other smaller, more personal planets like we talked about before will be direct. So that will give us the time and energy to get our projects that we were planning now moving forward for Aquarius season.
Yes, ma'am.
So are you excited about this guest?
I'm so excited about this guest. We're going to have such a good chat.
We are. Before we bring her on, just to let you know, if you are watching us live, feel free to drop questions. We are live. So, if we see him and I can get to him, we'll chat with you. But thank you for everybody that's already watching and that loves us already. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce our guest. She is a digital content creator and social media manager. And I am super excited to have her on the show because she also is a Capricorn. And I think she was shocked to hear that, but it's okay. We love that for her. Hello, this is Ashley Hood. She is adjusting and getting herself together, but we love to have her here. Yes, hey, Queen. Welcome to the show.
Hey.
Thank you for joining us on a Sunday chilly night at the end of Sagittarius season. We appreciate it.
I'm so happy to be here.
So Ashley, today's topic is ambition. And the definition that we found was a strong desire to do or to achieve something, typically requiring determination and hard work. And so my first question for you, we're going to jump right in. We don't really hesitate here at the Zodiac Chatline. What was your first taste of success?
Ooh. I would say my first taste of success was when I was a cheerleader. It may seem very small, but I was on a team where really like the outcasts were put on the team, but we always won like grand prize or first place. So that's when I knew like, we can be a part of something really big. You know what I'm saying? Being a part of something that big and having that successful like feeling of accomplishing something. That was my first taste of it when I was about, I would say, third grade.
Wow.
I was like, I gotta get it. I have to continue this feeling.
And she was trying to say she wasn't a Capricorn. Like, third grade, I tasted success.
No, I thought for sure you were going to be like, I was a sophomore in high school.
Yeah,
it was third grade when I was like, I love this.
That is awesome. So, what is it like? How hard are you willing to go for it? Like, do you love the practice? Do you love what made you decide it was worth staying with the work? Does that make sense?
Honestly, it may be very shallow to say, just to be able to say that I'm the best, that I won, it's enough for me. Like I did it. We're number one. Just that whole bragging rights thing is enough for me.
And now the Sagittarius comes out. No, just kidding.
Oh, I was right. I was also thinking that moon sign that we haven't talked about yet might be tripping. Yeah, right. So how has failure driven your ambition?
Oh, I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. I don't like to fail. I don't like it. I take it very hard. Sometimes I won't even try if I think I'm gonna fail. It's bad. I don't like to come in last place. I don't like to lose at all. So yeah.
I feel you. I'm very, I don't, and it's one of those things, like, so now I have kids, and you realize your kids are like reflections of your own past and your own trauma and your own, successes and failures. And my son, I have a really hard time convincing to do anything he's not like naturally gifted at. And I'm so exactly the same way. Like, I have no desire to work really hard at something I don't already have some aptitude at. It's like, why? Like, I don't want to be shitty at this. I don't want to look like I'm not good, because like I know I'm good at this other stuff. I'm gonna go do that, but it's hard, and we don't, of course, always get the choices of what we have to work at or just succeed at either. So that's so funny.
So have you failed at something and then tried it again and succeeded?
I don't know. That's a hard one, because when I say I avoid failure, I rarely do things that I think that I'm gonna fail at. Like, I only do it if I know that I'm gonna be the best. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I would have to really think about that. I don't know.
Is there anything you do that can't be judged by success or failure that you like just love, and it's simple enough for it to just be? It's okay if the answer to that is no. Also, I'm curious.
You guys are making me think.
Yes.
I don't think so. Like, now that I'm thinking about it, everything that I do, I'm judging it myself. If it's not anybody else judging it, I'm judging it myself. It's like, does it, live up to my standards of this is a success or this is a failure? You know what I'm saying? So probably not. I judge every little thing that I do, whether it's, I don't know, painting, because I love to paint, to making a good grade. That's bad.
Don't think of it as bad. Just think of it as something that you're becoming more self-aware about, and you can choose how you go with that knowledge. So it's like, you can challenge yourself to try more at things that you think you might fail at, because you actually could succeed. Like, you're already psyching yourself out, being like, I could probably fail at this, but you don't really fail at anything that you try, so you might as well try it, right?
That's what I'm working on now. That's the inner work that I'm doing.
Good. That's gonna be your birthday wish.
So I have a question, thinking about ambition. Whose career do you admire?
So I thought about this one. I don't admire a career. It's more so a lifestyle. Like, I admire a certain lifestyle that I know I want to live throughout my, older years. That's what drives me the most. It's not so much as what they're doing, it's like how they're living. And that's the people that's living peacefully, number one, not having to worry about money, not having to worry about basically money, any payments, anything like that, just living their free selves, doing what they want to do on their own time. Like that's what drives my ambition. Like that's what I have to strive for sure.
Time is what drives your ambition, because everybody talks about, making the money, but the thing is like the money gives you the time to do what you want to do and spend your time, and that's where the value comes in. So I am mad at you, girl. I think we here. I'm here for it. I add that little sprinkle on. I'll sprinkle some my way. So if you could express how desire has played a role in your ambition.
My desire to just be, I don't know. Now that I'm thinking about it, I just always want to be better than what I want, more than what I have. I want to be better than what I am. That is really what drives me. I know on a lot of job interviews, they say, what's your motivation? And it's really just me wanting to be better than what I am right now. Like, it's just that inner motivation, that inner ambition, just drive to, I just want more than what I have. That's bottom line.
Totally get it. Very Capricorn vibes. There's so many Capricorn vibes.
So this entire time, you have spoken your entire chart, your big three. You have spoken it this entire time without even knowing it. I mean, every little bit of it. I'm like, oh, that's where that came from. You are definitely all those energies combined.
I'm always interested with folks who are really ambitious to hear about whether that was something that was like a value that was instilled in like childhood. Did you have any like role models when it came to work ethic or ambition, or how were those kinds of things valued in your upbringing?
Okay, so I can say that my dad was a workaholic. Very much a workaholic, but my mom on the other hand was she's a Pisces, so she was very bossy, very much, if it doesn't go in this order, hold on, let me get the light back, sorry, there we go. If it doesn't go her way, she has a lot of anxiety about it. So I feel like just seeing them work hard towards what they want and my mom getting what she wants automatically, it made me focus in on that determination and that hard work for sure. Like, I don't know where else I pulled it from. Maybe my grandparents saying that, oh, you got to be the best. I heard that a lot in childhood. So I don't know.
It's nature versus nurture. I don't know which, and still having a couple kids, it doesn't make it any clearer. Are you born? I don't know. My 6-year-old's personality hasn't changed much since he was about 6 months old. So there's something innate in people, right? But then of course I hear him speak and the way he thinks about things, and I'm like, I've also molded this though. So it's interesting. And I think it kind of depends for each individual. Some people, I don't know, some people have like an unassailable fire in them. They're just going to do whatever, and it doesn't matter what anyone else says to them. And other people are really easily shifted by the people around them. So who knows? I don't know. We're all floating on.
Because it's only me and my younger brother, so I am the rebel of the family. So whatever my parents say, I'm like, I'm gonna challenge that, and I'm gonna do this, and then we'll see how it goes for me. That's one thing, but I did get a lot of like my hard work from my dad and just being very particular for my mom. So Yeah.
I think for me, for ambition, I think I am a dreamer that's ambitious. I don't mind failing because I try and learn from it. And I wish I was more ambitious, I think. I really do wish I was more, or let me see, I wish I was more actively ambitious. I think like in my heart and in my mind, I'm like, yes, I am all about this. But to put it in action, I need a little more of that oomph instead of the, it might happen. What
Yeah.
about you, Cassie?
So I'm pretty ambitious. I got a lot of cardinal energy in my chart. I want to succeed. I like to be the best. All growing up and in school, I was top of my class. If I would be like, my mom would be like, go to bed. Like, you don't need to keep doing homework. And I'm like, but I have calculus to do. You know what I mean? Like super intense. And I still feel that way. Now I get frustrated with myself for not having accomplished more. And I look at, it's tough to be an ambitious person in this age where there's so many media outlets that shove like young, successful people in your face. And it makes you feel like shit. You're just like, oh, I should, I'm 38. Why am I not a millionaire? Why haven't I broken in? Why haven't I sold this script or done this thing or done whatever? And it's like, we're all also still having to survive and want to live a pleasurable, life at some point. And that's been a struggle for me, is balancing the fact that I'm ambitious, but I also like to relax.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have to accept that, like, I'm not going to do everything as fast as other people when I also like to just chill out sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm probably never going to be that person that can just, work for 16 hours a day and, drink nutrition shakes and go to bed and like just be able to function like that. Like I can't. So it's kind of letting go of the need to be the best and be at the top of my class, and also think about other ways that success can be measured. And just being like, did I do more this year than I did last year? Did I do better than I thought I was going to do?
That's a good way to put it. Like how to measure success differently, not just necessarily like a title or money or anything like that. Like the intangibles that measure what success really means.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, go ahead.
Just because I had a question written down that is kind of tangential to that. So Ashley, for you, someone who's deeply ambitious, how do you balance ambition with personal peace?
Ooh. When I'm ambitious, it's very strong. But when I decide that I'm going to take a break, I take a break. I don't shorten it for anything. I don't think about any ambitions when I'm taking my break. I take my break. And when that break is over, whenever my heart desires that it's over, then I get back to being on my grind and on my, my stuff, so that's where my balance comes in. Whenever I need a break, I'm taking it, and it can be as long as it needs to be for me.
Hell yes. Hell yes.
So earlier, Ashley asked us a couple questions about her chart, or at least one question. So Cassie and I did do a little sneak peek. We did not do a deep dive. Ashley will not get a deep dive, but she will definitely get a sneak peek. And I will tell you Ashley's big three. Even though her entire life, Ashley just knew that she was a Sagittarius, because her birthday is, as we spoke about earlier, on the winter solstice, December the 21st. But when we looked at her chart and rising sign, as I talked about earlier, knowing the time of birth, Miss Ashley here is a Capricorn sun, a Leo moon, and a Virgo rising. So if any of you remember back to our conversation a couple of minutes ago, tell me what you noticed about those conversation and those places And also the most beautiful part about this, Ashley, is that you being a Capricorn, the sun travels through each sign at 60 degrees on the, or I'm sorry, 30 degrees on the pie chart. That's the best way to describe it, but on the astro wheel. And you are 0 degrees 4 minutes of Capricorn, which is basically if you were born just a little bit earlier, we would have had a whole
You would have been a
different person.
Sagittarius. Literally like 10 minutes before you would have been a Sagittarius, but
So you ambitiously wanted to be a Capricorn. So you made sure that you hit just the right line. And you are, and Ashley actually asked about being a cusp. And that cusp is from December 19th to the 25th, and it's called the cusp of prophecy. And it is between Sagittarius, the philosopher, and the sage, mixed with Capricorn, the authority, and the Saturn. So it's Jupiter energy versus Saturn's energy. And like Cass and I were talking about earlier, if you guys know Sagittarius is, that is the most fiery, inspiring energy. As we told you before, our third person Coral is a Sag, and she is the reason you get to look at us today. And she is a lovely Sag. So that Sagittarius energy is Jupiter. It's optimistic. It aims high. It's fiery. It's mutable. So we don't know where it's going to go, but we know it's going to go somewhere. And then you have very much Capricorn energy, which is cardinal Earth, which initiates a lot of great projects and grounding, but they're very grounded in long-term stability. And so Saturn is restriction, Jupiter is expansion. And so in one person, that is the balancing of this idea, and then, but I have to gradually work on it. This idea, but I have to gradually work on it. So it's like,
yes, my entire life.
So that's where that energy comes in. And then, your Leo moon with the me first one. We got it.
I'm the best. I want to be the best.
Right,
I want everyone to know I'm the best. That's totally that.
And then the Virgo perfectionist, like it has to be, I judge this and I do this. And I was like, she read her whole chart.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah. It is a fascinating combo. No, go ahead, Tennah.
I was going to say, also, your North Node is in Scorpio, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Am I right?
I'm looking at it right now. Yeah.
Okay, good. Mm-hmm. So I want to ask you this. How has your life changed from the beginning of the year until the end of this year? And how much change and transformation have you gone through?
Ooh, a lot. Hold on. Gotta re-up.
Look at even the universe is like, we gotta take a moment.
The beginning of the year. Well, first of all, this year has been very challenging for me financially. Not to say that I was like just down in the dumps, but it wasn't a financial year that I'm used to. So that's probably where the Capricorn comes in. But all in all, like relationships changed. I found a great relationship, lost a lot of friendships. And I can say that I'm really learning a lot about myself. Like I've learned so much about myself this year than any other year. I feel like 27 has done a number on me. So I feel like I'm, geared towards a positive year, positive years to come. But this year has really been transformative. I've learned that I like this, I don't like that. I won't accept this. This is okay. This is a boundary. It's been a lot. It's been a lot in 2022.
You said you've lost friends. So those relationships have changed because you kind of set up boundaries, or you became the person you are and they weren't on the same frequency?
I think it's more so the frequency thing. Like I became this person who was just like, I'm doing this way at this time. And they were used to me kind of conforming to how they were. So they weren't accustomed to, this newfound voice that I had. So that's how I lost, a friendship. But other than that, Everything was good. My career is on the up and up. I just got a new job, so that's great. I've been struggling in the beginning of the year. Relationships, romantic life is great. So everything else is on a positive turn. It was just, a couple friendships where my boundaries weren't up to their standards. So we fell off on the communication. But it's no love loss.
Listen, I wish you the very best because it's not gonna stop my show.
So you go over there.
I wish you the very best. That's what I'm talking about. Well, I asked that because I said your North Node, and we talk about this when we do people's charts, and your North Node is where your soul goes from and to. And this year, the node's axis was on the Taurus Scorpio axis. So most of the fixed signs or people that had those heavy energies really felt an incredibly transformative energies. And a lot of things were cut out of those people's lives because they wouldn't have cut them out otherwise, unless there was a reason or something like very, the universe was like, well, you can look at this and here are your choices. And so I am very happy that you were able to experience it for the better, that you feel like it helped you at the end of the year and that you are just really excited to go into the next year. And, girl, I'm here for it.
For sure.
Heck yes. And and this is not to, I hope this isn't scary in any way, but this year may be a good and useful precursor to because you're coming close to your Saturn return. So Saturn is currently in Aquarius, where it will be, do you know, like offhand when Saturn is leaving Aquarius today? Is it 2023?
Well, Saturn just left Capricorn.
Oh.
And so it's going to move but her Saturn must be in either Aquarius or Pisces.
Hers is in Pisces.
Oh,
so I was trying to figure out because Saturn's
see.
currently in Aquarius when
I think
leaves.
I think it does move like maybe March of 2023.
Okay.
Or something like that.
Yeah,
I'm guessing. But
yeah. You go ahead and talk about the Saturn return period while I look up when it happens.
So Saturn return, since Saturn's your friend, girl, but actually Mercury is your friend, but that's a whole nother story for another day. But anyways, Saturn, everybody talks about a Saturn return, and everyone that goes from their 20s to their 30s has a very interesting 29th year. And your Saturn return usually starts about the end of your 27th, like maybe the middle of your 28th. You'll start to slowly feel it like a little bit before it hits that point. And what the Saturn return does is that everything that you will be learning all the way from like now until the end of your Saturn return will transform you for the better. They will be lessons, and none of Saturn's lessons are easy, but they are worth the lesson in the end. You will learn so much, and you will be stronger for it because it will teach you it'll just teach you how to be an authority. Really, honestly, I think that's what your Saturn return really brings. It takes you away from your 20s, because Cassie and I are both out of our 20s, and that's all I'm going to tell you. And so when you hit your 30s, you just transform into a different person because you're an adult. Like there's really no excuses in 30s. It was cute in your 20s. It is not cute in your 30s, and then beyond. But Saturn return is a really good time to just really embrace the lessons because they are for your highest good. I remember my Saturn return was during a time when Cassie and I actually worked together, and I was a manager of a restaurant, and it was one of the most difficult times that I had ever been in a work situation. Oh, not because of the staff that I worked with. They, like the staff that I had, that was my squad. They still my squad. But the other managers that were there made it very difficult for me to succeed, but I succeeded anyway. And that was the best lesson, is that after that, I had the confidence to do whatever I needed to do, that I could manage a team, that I could run a team, that I could own a business. And that's how my Saturn return, as struggle bus as it was in it, you reap the lessons afterwards. So starting around, it looks like March until May of 2025. So it will last for March 2023 till May of 2025. It will last a long time, but I encourage you to just be as flexible as possible and continue to be authentic with it, because I feel like that will help you like in the direction that you want to go in.
And you know what? I had a feeling all along that this was coming, because I've seen a common theme of me coming face to face with adverse, situations. But I'm like, I'm the type that's like, all right, bye. I'm out of there quickly. So I've had a feeling that it's going to come a time where I just have to persevere and I have to push through and I have to just learn the lessons that I need to learn. So I had a feeling it was coming.
It's funny you say that too, and you frame it that way, because Saturn is known as Father Karma. So when we think about the lessons Saturn is teaching us, especially this Saturn return is the first time that Saturn has returned to the place it was in the zodiac since you were born. So we're talking about lessons of karma for the whole life you have had to this point. And your Saturn return does exactly what you just said. It leaves you no escape. You have to face the thing, you have to face it head on and go through it. And you will, as Tennah said, diamonds are forged in pressure. You will be better for it. You'll be stronger, more resilient, and infinitely more self-aware. Like Tennah's described what she went through during my Saturn return period. I met, dated, and ditched a toxic, addict, but also at the end of it, met the man that would become my husband. But it was like the 2 years were nothing but just these nonstop lessons in, you can't do this anymore. This isn't working. This is a pattern you're trying to escape something. And Saturn allows no escapes. It just does it.
It is not Pisces. It's not Neptune energy. It is literally the opposite of Neptune energy, which is this Pisces escapism. That is their energy, not Capricorn energy. It is rock solid in your base. But I have a feeling you're going to succeed. And my other piece of advice to you is to nurture your moon, your Leo moon, without having your ego have to be the center of attention.
Okay.
I know that might be a big ask, and I get it because we all I'm here for it. I'm here for a good ego. But when it comes to your emotions, you want to kind of lean into other people's a little bit too.
I'm learning.
Okay. Y'all see how I was like
to take just a brief foray back into the Saturn return thing. And because Tennah, you kind of alluded to this and then we didn't really explain, because you are a Capricorn, technically, you got that Capricorn sun and you have a lot of other Capricorn energy in your chart. Your Saturn return period may feel more natural and less antagonistic than the average person's, because Saturn rules Capricorn. So it's very much energy that your chart is comfortable in. Like, you're comfortable to a certain extent with structures, lessons, doing and going steadily forward. Right. But it's just gonna, there's going to be big asks. There's going to be big asks of you and your inner reserves of strength, and you have plenty of them, and you'll survive, and you'll be even more kick-ass when it's done. But it's a whole thing. It's just a whole thing.
And is it in her fourth? Is it in the energy? Her Capricorn's in the fourth house.
Yes.
Okay. So that's your foundations. That's your home. So it's just kind of around that you'll be able to restructure and seeing what works and what doesn't work in the best kind of way. And so, we here at the Zodiac Chatline stand you, and we know that you'll be successful.
Yes.
So let the people know who you are again, where they can find you. Holla, holla, holla. Take it away.
Okay. My name is Ashley. That's all I'm gonna give you. You can find me on Instagram at othersideof.ashley or last name. I think it's last name dot hood. I don't know. You can find me somewhere on Instagram. Yeah, I have a lot of cool things that's coming out soon. You won't see them now, but you'll see them later. But that's about it. I'm pretty much low key. So if you find me, you find me. If you don't, you don't.
And
I love
literally
it.
spoken like her big three.
Yeah.
Says
I
the
like
Capricorn, Leo, Virgo. If you find me, you find me. If you don't, you don't.
Right. Oh,
it.
that's funny.
Well, thank you for taking the time on this Sunday to spend with us. Have a wonderful and amazing solar return on Wednesday. We are sending you all the prosperity, abundance, and blessings and more that you deserve. And enjoy turning, still being in your 20s. That's cute.
Right. Yeah. What's that like? Guys, have an amazing rest of your season. Enjoy all the things. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me. I had so much fun. I really
all right. Thank you. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh my gosh. I can't wait for her to lead us all one day,
Girl. So speaking of leading us all, let's segue into those Capricorn celebrity check-in.
Let's do it. Yes.
Are we
yeah, let's do it. Let's do our Capricorn celebrity check-in, and then we'll talk about the winter solstice, and then we'll talk about an audience question and all the things.
See, that's why she's in charge, and I'm just looking cute. Okay, so you go ahead and start with the first one, and we can piggyback off that one because to me, she's the queen of all. I mean, she currently, to me, the queen of all Capricorns, but you go.
Yes. Okay. So if if this is not your first time here, you've probably heard me mention before my love of lady rappers. So my first Capricorn season shout out is to almost Ashley's birthday twin, but not quite, Big Lotto, whose birthday is 12/22 this Thursday. She's going to be 23 or 4, maybe something like that. She's quite young too, but on that Capricorn tip, started rapping when she was 9 and dropped out of school at 16 because she was like, I'm not doing this shit. I'm going to be a rapper. And she's crushing it right now. She's just, making hits. The woman never stops. She never stops. She dropped an album in August and has dropped an EP since then. I mean, just releasing singles. Some track didn't make it on the album, got leaked and it got picked up by social media. Just released that too. I love it. She, Capricorns, once they're good enough with their money and set up, are generous too. And she set up a charity for single mothers and children in Atlanta to help support the babies and the mamas. And I love to see that. And I also just love to see Black women win. So Big Lotto.
And she went on tour and you went to see them on tour.
Yes, she toured herself at the beginning of this year. Then she toured with Lizzo also this year. I saw the show in Detroit in October. It was phenomenal. Both of them crushed it. 2 earth sign queens sharing the stage. Fucking fabulous. Making those coins. Bish. Love it.
So this is my Capricorn queen because that was Cassie's. Mine. I have followed this amazing Capricorn queen. She is a January Capricorn. We try not to segregate here, but we all have our own, choices for December and January or whatever, your sign, whatever month you're in, whatevs, rep your set. However, this amazing person started off on YouTube back in the day, and Cassie talked about it, that I have been literally following this woman's career since she was on YouTube with her show, the web show, The Misadventures of Awkward Black Girl. She also brought us Issa, Molly, Kelly, and Tiffany, allowed us to be insecure and grow through all of that with 5 seasons. She is the creator of Hooray Media Entertainment Company. Let's give it up for the beautiful and the lovely, rooting for everybody Black, Issa Rae. We love her, Capricorn Queen. I mean,
Yes.
she has just changed the game for Black women in media, in sketch comedy, in writing, in just being able to tell the stories. And so we love us some Issa Rae. We watch her. Listen, she got married in France. Nobody knew because that's big Capricorn energy. I'll let you know when you do know. Showed us the pictures. Everybody's like, she's married. Exactly. You know what? We love you, Issa. Hope you have a great Capricorn season.
Absolutely. I hope you have a great every season. Issa Rae, you deserve it. So I had also picked Issa Rae on my list, but I knew Tanae's the OG, or Issa Stan would probably also speak about her. But it was funny because I was like, well, what is Issa up to like presently? I wonder if she got anything in the works or whatever. And I came across this article in the Hollywood Reporter. She was honored within the last couple weeks for like a women in entertainment, some group. And it was so interesting. Her remarks were like, I'm starting to worry about getting old. And I just want to put on as many young Black creatives as I can, because I have a finite amount of time on this earth and a finite amount of work I'm going to make. And I hope I live a long life, but I don't know if I will. And so I just want to make sure I lift other people like me up. And I was like, first of all, big Capricorn energy to be 37 and already like concerned about your mortality. And second of all, it's just like, fucking love you. Like, there's room at the table. There is just room at the table for everybody. And it's really frustrating to read about like Issa's struggles early in her career, how hard she had to prove her bona fides to HBO to get Insecure on the air. Like, she ran a successful web series for years before that show was picked up. She had an entire like season written already, plus a show Bible with outlines. They made her write outlines for like 4 future seasons. Meanwhile, no shade to her, I guess, but like Lena Dunham walked in there with barely an outline and they gave her girls. So like, it just goes to show you how much harder it is for especially Black women, but really like women of color, Black men of color, anyone who's not like really a white male or a rich white female to succeed in Hollywood. And Capricorn self was like, watch me. Watch me.
Here it is. And that was right. What you said is exactly like, she is able to put on Black creatives and tell their stories. And I think that on her YouTube channel, I think she's done a series where she's interviewed, and then before she did shorts where directors could come on and like do their short movies. But like you said, big Capricorn energy, let me pull up the people who are underneath me because it was so hard. And who you're going to talk about earlier, I mean, open the doors. I mean, Issa Rae basically opened the doors for a couple people, but you know, she had her door opened by one of the people I think Cassie's going to talk about next.
Oh my gosh, wait. Who opened the door for Issa Rae that I'm about to talk about?
I mean,
I don't know if I know this story.
Well, I don't necessarily think, I just think like being able to be on TV and being Black and being seen and interviewing people and just.
Oh,
yeah.
Like Gail.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You know,
yes.
it doesn't, or, you know, even, I guess we forget about Shonda Rhimes, and she's a freaking Capricorn.
She is? Oh, she didn't come up in my research.
Wait, maybe she's not. I thought she was.
I trust you. I defer to you to know every celebrity's birthday. But okay, so Tanae refers to the incredible Gayle King, who half of the duo of Oprah and Gayle, classic Capricorn Aquarius pairing, 2 signs that though right next to each other do surprisingly well together. And Gayle, you know, I just love Gayle. I think she seems great. She's so poised in interviews, and also there's like been very public drama around all of the early morning shows, like that mess with the 2 Good Morning America anchors a few weeks ago. That was crazy. Like Matt Lauer was trapping bitches and raping them in his office or whatever. Charlie Rose was on some other shit, and Gayle is just showing up to work, doing the job, doing it well, stacking her checks. I bet she's got a great investment portfolio. I love you, Gayle.
Yes.
Love you, girl.
And having to interview that man that got released from prison, but we won't say his name.
He
but
got
anyway,
released from prison?
Girl, anyways, we're gonna move on past that one.
Okay.
I can verify Shonda Rhimes is a Capricorn, January the 13th. So I'm sorry, guys, my mistake. Shonda Rhimes did open the door for Issa Rae. And the next person I'm going to talk about, because Cassie and I stand this person. She started off doing a Vine like, "Ooh, he got money." And then went to some BuzzFeed, was on the Black Lady Sketch Show, and now is the creator, the writer, and stars in the lovely Abbott Elementary. Let's give it up for Capricorn, Quinta Brunson. Girl, Quinta, we love you. We love everything that you have done so far. And Quinta is just in her early 30s. Quinta might be 32 on a good day.
Yeah, super young, for sure younger than me. Read her book. It was adorable. She seems fucking lovely. Like, just, and same kind of, things where Capricorn theme, worked hard, just did it, like, she has in common with our guest Ashley tonight that she was a competitive cheerleader all throughout her early life, and she talks about that in her book, got a taste for being the center of attention and kind of being the star. And then that led to improv comedy. And then it just led to, she was out working in the Apple store in wherever the fuck, California, when she made that Vine that went viral, and then started just randomly putting more stuff on the internet, and eventually, met a few folks, and boom.
And now we're here.
Now we're blessed.
Yeah, I know. And that ensemble cast, like, you can't deny that. So we love you, Quinta. Thank you for picking up where Issa Rae left off. Even though Issa Rae is doing other things, but those of you that watch Insecure, that was there every Sunday, and I think when they switched Thursday, but everybody, when you was there, you knew you needed something to pick you back up. And Abbott Elementary has kind of filled that little void for me, just a bit.
100%. Yeah, for sure. I guess the last ones I'll talk about, because they're birthday twins, so I'll pick two, are two just superstar Capricorns, who are, I don't want to necessarily lump, I don't know if it's appropriate to call Michelle Obama a hustler, because I don't think that she's out here snatching every bag she can get per se, but she's working. She is working and working for her community, and she is earning. And she shares a birthday with Steve Harvey, who absolutely is out here snatching every bag he can get. And good for you, Steve. I love your mustache. I know, there's rumors he's kind of an asshole. If I filmed 8 shows in a year, I'd be kind of an asshole too. Like, one show is exhausting, much less many shows. And Steve Harvey doesn't get a lot of credit for being a comedy legend, but is in fact a fucking comedy legend.
Kings of comedy. That is still to this day hilarious. Steve Harvey show when he had hair. And I don't know anybody that can host that many game shows, and just, we here for it.
Just do it, and do it
well. I love that they're birthday twins. That's so cute. I love that they're birthday twins.
And I feel like Michelle is starting to, it's funny too, because when I think of both of those figures, you have two people who can keep it very buttoned up depending on the context, but can also very much let loose depending on the context. Like, it was really funny to see Steve Harvey kind of let his guard down on comedians in cars getting coffee, like Jerry Seinfeld interviewed him. So of course it's like very, silly and kind of body or whatever. Like, and then I saw, Michelle Obama's on a speaking tour right now, and I saw photos of her at a speaking engagement with braids.
Oh yeah, she's just killing it.
Yes,
yeah, that's what somebody put on a video, like when she was first lady, and then like the real Michelle Obama is now out.
I fucking love it. And it's like, you know, I think sometimes Capricorns feel like they have to be super professional and they have to be super serious and buttoned up. And it's like, let your inner freak flag fly. We all know it's there.
All of that. So I will have, these two are not birthday twins, but I'm just gonna run these down because we literally have been talking about this. Okay, so the first person I'm gonna bring up is, if you are on Instagram and you need to follow, it is called Parking Lot Pimpin' with Lynae Vanee. I will definitely put her information in the description box below, but she says she's going to keep it black and brief. She has a Master's of Art in African American Studies, but she does a Friday parking lot, and she sits in the parking lot and she spills all the tea and she runs down whatever's happening in the world using political and historical references. It is amazing. I went to see her. She performed here locally in Atlanta. I went to see her live. That's why I know she's a Capricorn for sure. Amazing. The girl is rocking it out. She has a Patreon, and she was just named the American Black Film Festival's 2023 Social Ambassador. So please check her out. I'm going to drop her stuff below. And then finally, I came across this person and I was like, who is this child? Because, you know, they are 22. And I started watching the Sex Lives of College Girls, and Renee Rapp. If you do not, everybody, I'm pretty sure, because of TikTok, knows who this girl is, but she first starred in Broadway's Mean Girls as Regina George. And she plays Leighton on the Sex Lives of College Girls, and she just released an EP called Everything to Everyone. She's been on tour. She is openly bisexual. All the gays love her. All the lesbians are about that life. She's a gorgeous blonde-haired, just lovely, and she can sing. Side note, her best friend is Aaliyah, who is a Cancer. Their friendship is literally goals. It is the cutest thing ever. But she is 22 and out here, again, like she talked about Lotto, just like killing it at a young age. And what I really admire about Capricorns is, like, when they know what the fuck they're going to do, they're going to do it. And they're already have their plan, and they'll take their time. They don't give a shit how. You talked about Lotto at 9. That was what, let me help me do the math. 14 years ago. No, I'm
15. Yeah, 14, 15 years
something
ago.
like
She's 23. Yeah.
she knew what she was trying to do, and she took her time and went step by step by step by step. And now she's just making leaps and bounds. But it's the same with Renee. She, started in that and then got cast in that show. And so she's just kind of, and that girl can, Renee Rapp, that girl can sang Broadway, hit them notes. So I truly wanted to give her a shout out. And then last but not least, just to tag on Steve Harvey's daughter, Lori Harvey, just out here being a true Capricorn. If you're trying to date her, it's $1 million and an NDA player. Just letting you know. And that's big Capricorn energy.
I love it.
So, coming up on Wednesday is the Winter Solstice in the Northern Hemisphere for us up here. That is December 21st. It is the symbolic death and rebirth of the sun. It is the shortest day of the year. It is when we are officially in winter, and we will start to get a little bit longer days, because if you're around where the rest of us are, it is dark as hell at like 5 o'clock.
The worst. It's the worst. I hate it. But I love the winter solstice in general. I like a good reset. I'm a big fan of both the winter solstice and New Year, as we celebrate it here in the West, as an opportunity to set the tone for the 12 months that are going to follow. Right. The ancestral lands, I guess, of the UK and Scandinavia, a lot of times they celebrate or honor the winter solstice with bonfires or any kind. So I encourage you, if you're looking for something to do, like integrate light, flames, welcome the return of the light to your life. But also remember that it's still cold and it's still dark, and we're still laying the groundwork for everything that's going to come forward. So I think it's a great opportunity every year to, whether it's you have a ritual like a resolution. Tanae and I have talked a few times on the show before about how we pick words each year, each new year, to kind of set our theme for that year and give us something to go back to and explore. And so, yeah, I would definitely encourage that. And this year, it's kind of cool that the new moon is falling so close to the winter solstice, because then we can be really intentional with that energy and using that as a time to not only set intentions for this moon cycle, but really for the season and even for the year, if you're feeling, comfortable enough with your ambitions there. How do you celebrate the winter solstice, Tanae?
I am going to really dedicate more time to trying to channel some Capricorn energy. I actually do have 0 Capricorn placements in my chart. It's okay. So I'm really going to, I think this year I'm going to burn some stuff and really like use that, like they talk about the pagans did like Yule logs and stuff like that, but really try and release and let go. I think, again, as we talked about in the beginning of the show, with all of this Capricorn energy, just really planning and being methodical about what I see. And since Capricorn is the sign before mine, a lot of my energies are kind of like in not sleep mode, but really resting and meditative and thinking mode before the Aquarius season comes and I am out here in the streets. But I'm definitely going to really take a lot of personal time during this winter solstice. I think it's a really good time to kind of do some really good inner work and inner reflection and come to some realities. I think that Capricorn season really keeps it 1000, boo.
Thanks. And again, like it is on its own a good day for release and reflection, but also based on where it is in our moon cycle, right? So like we're approaching the dark moon at that point, haven't quite hit the new moon in Capricorn, and that's a great time to just really like, okay, what no longer serves? Dust the corners of your existence, right? Like really, if you have some time, I know it's, the holidays are weird because it's like, on the one hand, there's free time, but on the other hand, you fill up every moment of free time with time spent with other people. But in the free time you do have, really think about like the places of the structures of your life. Okay. Like what's working in the job, what's working in your daily routine, what's working in the way you manage your finances, what's working in the way that you manage your physical body, like all of those day-to-day, like not necessarily like day-to-day routines, but the way that our daily lives accumulate into something bigger. That is Capricorn season thought process.
Yeah, the structures behind how we move.
Yes.
And like what we move, and the structures be maybe your foundation, your family base, like Cassie said, some of your, I think, it's foundation of yourself, your habits and like discipline and just different things like that. And so we are fans of always chilling the fuck out.
Yep. Tanae and I are not the ones to be doing too much, you guys. I mean, sometimes, but like,
right.
Not really.
At the appropriate times, but these times,
this is not the time for doing too much.
No, this is the time for doing what the Goldilocks say, just right.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. That's probably a very strange analogy. But anyway, you want to get into this question?
I do. I love this question because it is super
very
relevant
valid,
right now. Yes.
All right. So the question is, what is Mercury's shadow period and why is it fucking with us?
So, Mercury's shadow period is the 2 to 3 weeks approximately.
Yes. 2 weeks.
2 weeks before it goes retrograde and after it goes direct. So that is when Because again, the retrograde periods are periods when the planet appears in the sky to go backward from its normal orbit. It's not actually going backward. It's just that the relation between the Earth and that planet's orbit are at kind of a wonky point, right? And so in the shadow periods, the planet seems to slow in its orbit as it approaches that ultimate backward motion. And, you know, we have this thing at the chat line that has happened over this year, because we're on our anniversary here of being a thing for a year, where we tend to do well during Mercury retrograde. Like we're like prepared for it. You know, we've got all our contingency plans in place. And so maybe it's just that the shadow sneaks up on us and we're not quite ready for it, but the shadow periods tend to really fuck with us. Like we all have technology troubles and like those miscommunications that generally get associated with Mercury retrograde. The three of us, I'll speak for myself. I personally find the shadow periods more fraught with that bullshit than regular Mercury retrograde.
Yeah.
And it's part of it, I think, is because everybody else gets so crazy during Mercury retrograde that I feel better. But like the couple weeks before and the couple weeks after, I'm always like, man.
Girl. And it's like, and usually shadow periods will show themes that are going to come up during Mercury retrograde will start to show up in shadow periods. So just pay attention to anything that seems to be like a common theme, because it's just giving you a foreshadowing that you will have to deal with it during Mercury retrograde. In which we have said before, it's just not a really good time to make big decisions. It's a really time to rethink and slow down. It usually occurs like for you to kind of look past the past, look over the previous 3 months of like what has gone on and then how you're going to move forward from that. And as we talked about earlier with the Winter Solstice, all of this stuff being in Capricorn, it is a perfect time for Mercury retrograde to take us out through the year so that we can just really slow down. These past 2 years have really gone by, I think, faster. It feels and appears that these 2 years have gone by super fast since, you know, COVID in 2020. And I think that we are all kind of looking forward to what 2023 will bring, even though there's still some turmoil between a lot of different things. I think a lot of us feel a lot better, at least just taking a deep breath and being like, okay, well, it's not that bad. Let's just take our time. Let's take a step back.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you know, I saw a tweet that was very funny from Black Twitter, of course, because Black Twitter is the just
lit. Do you
so
hear me?
Good.
Lit.
But it's like no one's out here saying 2023 is going to be their year. Everybody's too scared to claim it. And I think there is some truth to that. You know, I think 2020 was so rough that a lot of people, myself included, were like 2021. And then 2021 was like, no. This year I was like, well, maybe. And it was like, no. So I'm a big fan of restart, you know, a chance to, you know, to have a fresh pair of eyes and try a different, you know, cycle out. And that is not to say that this year hasn't had some great stuff. This project came out of this year. You know, I've personally have had some really great stuff, but Russia and Ukraine are still at war. I mean, Brittany Griner got kidnapped in Russia for 9 months. They overturned Roe. Like, we barely held on to democracy again. Who knows if we will in 2024? Like, it's stressful. And
we see a lot of people imploding on themselves.
Oh,
we see, and here, and the truth is that we are seeing a rise in white supremacy. And we are seeing a very terrifying rise in that much division in our country. And so that is nothing that is really hidden. And I think that Pluto and Capricorn and Aquarius and Saturn is like telling on folks.
Yeah,
exposing
right.
Folks. I think it's exposing folks.
It's true. And so it's like,
Yeah.
how can we build a better future? You know, I would encourage you, you know, think on that as we're going through this year together. Like, how can we, let's channel some Aquarius vibes. You know,
how do we help the collective?
Aquarius.
Yeah. How do we help? How do we transform the collective? And the collective is whoever wants to be involved in the collective, because not everybody's going to be in it. But we encourage you all to, you know, change your own orbit, and only thing you could change is you, honey. The only thing you got control over is you. So focus on that.
Preach it like you teach it. Oh.
Hey, we're gonna go into our tarot. No, I'm just kidding. Into the tarot. I tried this earlier today. Oh, there we go. Kim Krans, welcome back. Animal Spirit. Cassie and I love this deck.
And Kim Krans, a Michigan queen, like the two of us.
Yes. Before I pull this, I just want to thank everybody. We have enjoyed this entire year. Thank you to everybody that has subscribed to all of our platforms. Thank you to everybody that's followed us, that has been engaged. We are excited to come back next year and show you guys what we have for the show. We want to eternally grateful for everybody's support. It is, I mean, I think we are just so blessed to be able to do this creative project with each other. And I think it feeds I think it feeds Cassie and I's like astrology bug, because this is the language we talk in every single day, even to each other. So thank you for rocking with us. Shout out to Janet, whose birthday is today. She was our first guest for our Virgo service earlier. So Janet, happy solar return to you. Cassie?
Shout out to all the guests we've had this year. Everyone who came on to the show has been so incredible and insightful and offered us and the folks here like something to think about. And it's been amazing. So thank you guys. Thank you to Coral for, the fire she adds to Tanae's and my air and water energy, and to all the people in our lives who've supported us over the year in this project. Shout out to Jason and Brandon, Zodiac Chatline spouses. And yeah, really, I mean, it's just been such a blessing to get to meet some new people through this and connect with even just complete strangers. Like it's been really cool. And I'm excited that we're coming back in Aquarius season, and we have plans to be back for the rest of next year. And I'm very excited to watch this project continue to evolve.
So you ready?
I'm ready.
Butterfly in the sky.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yes. Oh, there it is. Oh, no, now she's getting bright. Come on, butterfly. Oh, this is going to be a really good one.
Okay, guys. So we have the butterfly undergoing great change and transformation. Always be on point. It never fails, and we appreciate that we are connected. Okay, thank you, ancestors. The energy of the butterfly is with us during periods of transition. Since air is the element of the heart, this change usually involves relationships, or if you love your job, perhaps your career. Since transition is accompanied by some amount of discomfort, be extra patient and kind during this time, especially if the butterfly is you. Let solid friends and activities support you like a cocoon, committing to one daily routine, a meal, practice, or prayer, done at the same place and time, will do wonders for lifting a butterfly's spirit. When in balance, the butterfly is cheerful and graceful. When out of balance, fragile and frustrated. In order to bring into balance, daily routine. Oh my goodness. This hit harder than I was ready for, because I will share this with you privately, Cassie, but this is like, okay, thank you. I heard, ancestors heard. But for everybody else, sorry, I had a moment. It is live. It is what it is. That butterfly spirit is transformation. And like we said, we are going into a very good slowdown period. So figure out how you're going to transition and transform. We are transitioning from Sagittarius season to Capricorn. We're transitioning from the end of the year to the beginning of a new year. We are transitioning from a direct to a retrograde. So again, just be patient with yourself and just have the support system, like they said, like a cocoon. I thought that was a beautiful line. Have your support system like a cocoon around you and envelop you to support you through this transition time.
I love it.
It hits every time. Again, that is, I think I almost did it better. One day I'll get good at this, guys, but today is not going to be that day.
It would be helpful if these cards were not so shiny and, you know, worked a little more with the ring light here.
Exactly. Okay. Oop, there we go. So this is The Animal Spirit by Kim Krans. Let's see if I can. Oh, look.
Oh, yeah, that's better. There you go.
Look at that. Yes. So, well, oh, sorry. Support Black women. Okay. Also, before we get out of here, once again, thank you to everyone that has supported us for this entire project. We are so thrilled that we made it a year. Cassie, happy anniversary, girl.
Happy anniversary, baby.
To everybody and to our future guests, we look forward to seeing you guys next year, 2023, in mid-January. We will be back and on our oldest social media platforms to let you know when we will be back officially. But please continue to follow us on the TikTok and the Instagram. All of that information will be below. Thank you again, Ashley. Happy solar return, dear Capricorn queen. Not Sagittarius. We thank you so much for coming on the show. It was so great to chat with you guys. Whatever your ambition is, it's all up to you. Cassie, any last words?
Just, I echo Tanae's thanks. Be safe and well, and you know, we'll see you in 2023.
Listen, stay blessed and hydrated, y'all. As always, it's all love. And what, Cassie? Peace.